Good Saturday morning. I'm KHU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are just around 8 a.m. here across the Houston area, and we're seeing that rain come to an end for the most part here across town. As you look at radar, we're seeing a little bit of a break. Those temps are continuing to fall, however, as we head into the next several hours. So we started out this morning with temperatures in the 50s, and as you see here on our radar, we're seeing those temps already fall into the 40s here across the Houston area. And so we're not looking at any frozen precipitation right now, even though areas northwest of Houston, temperatures are now in the 30s. So as we take a further look out towards, let's say, the I-35 corridor, we're already starting to see some of that wintry precipitation become somewhat of an issue for areas in central and north Texas. So looking at rain, we had a large swath of rain that has moved through the Houston area within the past hour or so. We're getting a little bit of a break now, but roadways are still pretty wet out there. So definitely be cautious when it comes to driving in terms of the wet road conditions. But looking across the state of Texas, we're looking at more of that wintry precipitation just west of the I-35 corridor, and even Dallas-Fort Worth now seeing that sleet to snow mixture. So it's more of a wintry mixed precipitation out towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area as temperatures in that region have fallen to about freezing. This is the temperature outlook, or what we're seeing here across the state of Texas. Temps are continuing to fall as this cold front is now making its way into the southern half of the state. -1 out in Amarillo, 9 degrees in Lubbock, San Angelo at 16. This is just giving you a sense of how cold and how strong this air mass is that is moving into Texas. It is -1 in Amarillo. Can't get over those numbers. 35 in Austin, 35 in Lufkin. Houston, we're still at 47. We're still well above freezing, but just keep in mind that this surge of cold air is heading into the Houston area right now, but we still have most of Saturday to remain above freezing. You just want to keep an eye on that temperature, whether if you're looking at it from your car or looking at it at a thermometer in your home. Once it hits 32 degrees, that is the freezing mark, you can expect to see whatever is wet out there to start freezing over. So just be close attention. If there's one thing that you should do today here across Houston is pay attention to the current temperature. 32 degrees or lower, that's when we still could start seeing problems here across town. So as far as our weekend impacts, we are expecting freezing rain tonight into Sunday. That is going to really also be along with the freezing temperatures to still remain below freezing, at least as we head into early Sunday morning. So driving not recommended here across Houston from tonight into Sunday. The coldest of those temperatures are going to be Monday morning with temperatures in the teens for some areas north of town. So we are expecting the wind chill factor to be an issue as well. So temps today, your weekend outlook, a very messy one. We're starting off pretty messy here across the Houston area. We're looking at those rain showers that have caused wet road conditions. We had some issues on roadways earlier this morning. I think a lot of those high water spots are starting to drain off right now. We did have some high water reports along I-45. That was from the Houston Transtar. But looking at Sunday, that's when we were expecting the icy mix and the cold, those cold temperatures to be at play here. So if you don't have those heavy jackets with you, you might want to get those out on, put them on standby, especially for today, as temps are going to continue to fall throughout the day. So looking at the next few days here, we are expecting the future wind chills to be in the teens here across Houston. This is looking at the widespread wind chills forecasted for Monday morning. Monday morning is going to be the time that we're going to see the coldest of those temperatures. So keep in mind that's going to feel like -3 out in Abilene. Areas off to the west likely to see negative wind chill values. That is really also expecting to just kind of giving you a sense of how cold it's about to get here within the next 12 to 24 hours. Also, when it comes to the ice accumulations, we're also looking at the ice storm warning that the National Weather Service has issued for areas north of Houston. This does include Livingston, Huntsville, Walker, Polk, San Jacinto counties. You could expect more of a higher ice accumulation in these areas, and this is really significant icing that really could cause some major issues, especially along I-69 towards Lufkin, as well as I-45 towards Dallas. So if you have those travel plans, I think for the most part today, not really a good idea to travel. As we look at our current radar, we are already seeing some of that precipitation that's falling out west and north of us, out in central and north Texas, already switch over to that freezing precipitation. precipitation as you see here. So what you see in the green colors, the green and the red colors, that's the heavy rain that has moved through the Houston area. We're still below freezing, but once you start looking out towards Austin, even Waco, we're starting to see some of that mixture change over to that freezing precipitation as temperatures are at freezing in that location. And it's looking quite a bit of a messy outlook right now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're heading in that direction, keep in mind that they're just having, we're about to start seeing that rain. It's more of a wintry mix that's happening out in the Dallas-Fort Worth. So they're going to already starting to see those problems that are going to start trickling in within the next few hours for areas north and west of us. And then Austin, they're still looking at some isolated showers moving to the Austin area, but of course areas towards Lampasas as well as Brady out towards central Texas, they're definitely dealing with some isolated showers, but temps are continuing to fall to about freezing in those locations. So definitely expecting the next few days or next couple of days to be a very interesting journey for us here across the Houston area. So keep in mind that as we look at our future track, we are expecting a bit of a break from the precipitation, from the rain that we had just received. It was quite heavy this morning. We had some storms, we had some lightning, we had some special weather statements from the National Weather Service. Some of those storms packed a bit of a punch south of Houston, and we did see some ponding on roadways and some high water spots in some locations. But now rain has ended. We have a brief window of calmness for much of our day, especially as we progress through this today and through the morning. So looking at the time frame of when we are expecting, so you might be asking yourself, when could I go and do my last minute items? Okay, so we have that rain moving out at least between now and 9 a.m. And so between now and I believe 4 p.m. is when we're expecting to see another round of precipitation. So we have a bit of a break for much of the day. Temps are expected to remain above freezing at least between now and 1:30 this afternoon. So you're going to have some ample time to do those last minute items around the home or those last minute shopping tasks. But just keep in mind that once we get closer towards around, and this is for areas north of Houston, once we get closer towards 5 p.m., again, 5 p.m., for areas north of Houston, we are expecting those temps to fall to about freezing. And we will start seeing more rounds of additional precipitation to move into southeast Texas. But keep an eye on those freezing temperatures, 32 in Huntsville, 34 in College Station. So any rain that is falling at 5 p.m. for our northern areas is going to start switching over to freezing rain. And we will start seeing this precipitation become a bit more widespread and scattered through the night. And that's when those temps are going to continue to fall throughout the Houston area, throughout areas across along I-45, as well as Sugar Land, Katy, Conroe, Tomball. You will start seeing more of those freezing temperatures. This winter system is fighting with the Gulf and all the moisture that's associated with it. That's why you're starting to see we're at the border between freezing and not freezing. So if we don't get up to 32, which I think we are, we will not see freezing precipitation, but we will see, models are in agreement that we will be at freezing, and we could see some issues for tomorrow morning, especially as we get closer towards 1:30 to 3 a.m. That's when we're expecting to see more of a widespread heavy rainfall tonight from midnight to 1 a.m. And so that's when we're going to be about freezing, especially out towards Bush Airport and Hobby. So you see those pink color, that's ice that will be falling, or freezing rain that will be falling through the Houston area through tonight. And then eventually all of this precip will be out of the picture. And that's why I'm saying precipitation, because of course it's not rain, it's freezing rain. That's going to be out of the picture by 6 to 9 a.m. And then we're going to see the coldest of these temperatures in place for the early morning hours of Monday. Monday morning is going to be the coldest of the temperatures. We will see dry conditions, but we're likely to see those temps in the 20s, out about low 20s for areas in College Station. And so that's when we're going to have to pay attention to the wind chill factor with this situation. So when we look at the wind chill, this is the feels like temperatures. The feels like temperatures really could contribute to a higher rate of hypothermia symptoms if you are outside in these elements. But just keep in mind that when you factor in the wind speeds that we are expected to get with this system in combination with the actual temps, so even though we're going to be in the 20s, we are going to feel like it's going to be in the teens out there. And this is the forecast for Monday morning. feeling like 16 out at Bush Airport, Huntsville 8 degrees, 4 degrees in College Station, Brenham 6 degrees, Columbus 9, El Campo at 14, feeling like 20 degrees in Galveston. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued that extreme cold warning that's in place for all of Southeast Texas. That's the extremely cold conditions that are expected, but also we are going to have to pay attention to the possible ice accumulations that are expected for us here across the Houston area, especially when it comes to the elevated bridges and overpasses. Just keep in mind that once you get higher in the atmosphere, whether it's 10, 20 feet, you could get to around freezing. We have a lot of highways, we have a lot of overpasses that are very tall, several hundreds of feet in the air. That really could freeze over first. And of course, that's expected to see more of the ice accumulation risks, especially with all those connecting highways that we have here across the Houston area. And so our latest model is showing close to 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulations here across Houston. When you get closer towards Huntsville, Lufkin, you're going to be between 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulations to 0.31 inches. That is where you could see more very horrible travel conditions, as well as more power outages. That's where you also could see where the ice could accumulate on power lines, and that could cause some local power outages. So even though that we're going to see, it may not even be the power grid being the issue, it's the ice accumulations that could happen locally on those power lines that we're going to have to really keep an eye on, especially as we look at the potential for ice here across Southeast Texas. And not just us, a lot of folks across Central and North Texas as well are going to be looking at the potential for just widespread travel concerns, especially as we head into the next 24 hours. So a trace to 1/4 of an inch, this is what we're expected here in Houston. That does create dangerous travel, minimal power issues. However, areas north of town, this is for Huntsville, Livingston, you're going to be in this range between 1/4 of an inch to 0.75 inches. That's impossible travel. That could cause some tree damage as well as more power outages. But just keep in mind that over 0.75 inches, widespread tree damage is expected. That's more of a catastrophic situation. I don't think we're going to be at this range. This is going to be north of Houston. And of course, Houston area likely to see dangerous travel conditions for tomorrow. And so looking at the 7-day outlook, we are expecting to warm up. This is going to be a not prolonged event. This is more so an event that will not be as long as what we saw back in 2021. So we had several days of below freezing or freezing temperatures, but just keep in mind that as we look at our 7-day, we are looking at cold conditions tonight into Sunday, lasting through Monday. Those overnight lows are still going to be very cold through Sunday, but those afternoon highs are going to be above freezing, especially as we get to Monday afternoon and Tuesday. And then eventually we're going to be back up to the 60s for Wednesday. It's why we've issued that weather impact alert from now until Monday afternoon, as we are expecting more of those winter weather impacts here across the Houston area. And so for the most part, as we look at our radar, we are looking at that rain moving out as of now. You have until now, until around 4 to 5 p.m. to do whatever you have to do before our next round of precipitation moves in. And that's when we're going to start seeing those temperatures fall for our northern areas to about freezing. That doesn't include College Station, even Huntsville, as well as Livingston. But right now we are well above freezing, but you're able to see the vast temperature differences. They're already in the 30s in Brenham, 39 in Navasota, 42 in Conroe. We're at 50. We were at 54, but we're now at 48 in Houston as we look at the latest radar scan. So we are expecting this bit of a break from that rain that is currently happening off towards the west of us. So this is still quite a big system, and this is kind of showing you more of a zoomed out look of what we're expecting. Still a large swath of winter weather happening right now across portions of the Panhandle, as well as I-20. Even Dallas-Fort Worth is looking at that mixture of wintry mix precipitation here across the Lone Star State. So definitely we are tracking the latest for you with the latest news and weather headlines. Stay safe out there, and you have a little bit of time before we start looking at the freezing temperatures here in Houston, but you might want to be off the roads at least by 5 to 6 p.m. because any rain that could cause dangerous not only slick conditions, but once we head into the overnight hours, anything that has fallen, any wet conditions is going to start freezing over, especially as we head into Sunday. 7-day forecast temperatures pretty cold at least through tomorrow. Dangerous travel expected tomorrow, and then we're going to warm up to about 40 degrees for Monday afternoon, but overnight lows are still going to be very cold out there, so bundle up and wear those high-powered jackets if you have them, especially as we head into the next 24 hours. And so, of course, we're keeping you up to date on the hour here on KHOU 11 Plus, as well as on the KHOU 11 app. Make sure to tune in at 9 a.m. for the KHOU 11 morning newscast. I, along with anchors Katira Wintry and Cheryl Mercedes, will be giving you the latest news and weather updates of what to expect when it comes to this winter weather impacts here across Houston. Have a good rest of your day.